Hi guys, I'm going to give you a tour of my studio today. So this is my studio. I'm going to give you a quick little overview. And as we walk in, the first thing we see is the series of paintings that I'm working on right now. This is my series of Pilot Mountain paintings. And over here is my acrylic station. I have things basically organized by station to make it really easy for me, or more efficient as I work. And so everything is out and ready to go. And everything is also on wheels so that I can wheel it around as I'm working. So on the top of this I have my palette. This is my acrylic palette and a spray bottle to keep the paint wet as I'm working because it dries quickly. I've got a water cup and some tools. The comb is nice to make some marks. I've got some palette knives. This is to open up dried paint tubes. Some brushes. These are pretty cool actually. I've got different types of brushes. Some of them are more coarse than others, and some of them are really soft. I've got ink. Down here I have my acrylic paint. I use golden acrylics. I really like the brand. I just think the colors are really bright, and I like the paint feel. So these are all the mediums back here, and then different types of paint. So these are the heavy body paints, and these are which one are these again? The fluid. So those are like a very liquid type of paint. And then down here I have saran wrap for when I need to keep some paint from drying out if I have to leave paint on the palette, and some watercolor and gouache and ink, and a little bit of backstock of acrylic. Then back here is an easel. It's currently just folded into a table, and I've got my watercolor stuff. I've got tubes of paint in here, and then pan paint in here, and this is a palette that opens up, and then some watercolor brushes, and my old boombox, very important. A stack of wood panels. So these are going to be primed. I'm going to sand these and then put several layers of gesso on these, and I'll sand in between each layer so that the surface is nice and smooth. So over here are my tools for working in oils. So on top of this cart I have a sheet of plexiglass that I duct taped to this many moons ago, and some tools. Down here I've got my small travel oil painting kit. I can show you guys that another time. I made that back when I was in graduate school, and has everything I need to make paintings. And then some backup oil paint, paint sticks. I use RF. I love these. They basically allow you to draw with oil paint in a stick form. And then these are the paint. I organize them kind of by color. So on this side I have earth colors and blacks and whites. Here I have my yellows and reds-ish. And then here I have my blues and my greens. So yeah. And then over here I've got, this is part of a desk that I inherited or kind of took from my husband. Also has wheels. We added this thing at the top so that it's at the right level for me to work, so that I don't have to bend over. I try to keep my workstations like set up in a way that I don't have to bend over a lot, because I have some injuries, and so I want to be able to paint for a long time and not be hurting or worried about my back. So these are the paint sticks that I'm using. They kind of turn all the same color since they're covered in paint. I've got brushes in here, the little ones and the big ones in here. A lot of these tools I've had, like the brushes and the palette knives, I've had for like 20 plus years, so I really like these. And then I've got my mediums and some more tools in here. These are for cleaning palettes, which you probably can tell by now I don't do a whole lot. I basically clean them when I feel like I can't mix any more paint on it, or I just get annoyed, and so I scrape everything off. And then I've got drawing tools here. So these are a bunch of graphite sticks and some erasers. And then in here, I've got some more tools, so more drawing stuff in here, some charcoal and Conti crayons and some more ink and erasers. And then a ton of different kinds of pastel in here, and colored pencils and different types of charcoals and things in here. And there's just backup watercolor stuff in here, not a whole lot. And then back here, I've got a bunch of clip-on lights, a little stool for when I'm working outside, and then just some more tools and yeah, more mediums and fixative and a bunch of rags, and little jars and things, some reference, and some drawings. There's some old drawings of mine that I like to have around, some little paintings that I did a while back, and some of Noah's drawings. That's my son. My first palette, and a bunch of artist cards whose work I like. So that is my studio. Thanks for joining me.